if we look at, let's say, your throwing mechanics, you do a good job of getting in this position where the butt of the racket's going up to the ball. That's a great position. But then this breaks down where we're pulling the strings towards the ball.
Okay.
And so your racket's on the same plane
Yeah.
the entire way through.
Okay.
From here, way before contact, to here, way after contact. It's exactly the same edge, the same plane, the same face
Okay.
with the racket. Some other, examples. Here's Andy Murray.
Edge, 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 edge. Finally. And pronate. Oh my God. Oh
Here's Djokovic. And we go through all the WTA players too. It's the same thing. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. There are some variations, but the edge part is for sure universal.
Wow. Okay.
The bottom line, Gina, is coming up on edge and releasing creates a tremendous amount of racket head speed.
Okay.
And the way you're doing it is super, super common among 3.0, 3.5 tennis players. Opens the racket up to the ball very, very early, which for a lot of players, it's a safer feeling swing, I think, because they know where their strings are facing and it's very kind of direct and lateral,
Okay.
but it's very weak. It's kind of a pushy motion instead of a snapping motion.
Okay.
So we're going to start with just adjusting the grip and getting you familiar with these new pathways.
Okay.
First, I'm going to have you just grip up on the racket here. And all I want you to do is a couple times, we're just going to get used to pulling here. The same action. And as we do this, the first thing we're going to start working on is simply what I call thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay. And so we're going to rotate your shoulder and your forearm. And meaning if I'll hold your racket for a second and just give me a thumbs up, and then we're just going to do a thumbs down. And what you're rotating is your forearm and your shoulder. Okay, so it's not just a wrist movement or a forearm movement, it's happening from the shoulder. So you will feel a little bit of your shoulder muscles being worked. But that's the action that's going to happen above your head.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and grab your racket in this position here. And all I want you to do is pretend like your thumbs up, even on the side. And all we're going to do is turn the racket where the butt of the racket is now facing down. Okay? We're going to go through 5 reps. So just get used to it. And this is really important that we feel comfortable doing this action. Okay? So we're going to add in a ball. And all I want you to do is start with the racket here, slightly a little bit above the ball in a second, and we're going to simply do that half of that rotation. So it's going to look like this. And the key to this drill is not hitting it hard, is simply we want to make sure we're getting on top of the ball. Okay. So it looks like this. And just, so I'm holding the ball relatively, I would say, not too much higher. I'm not tossing it, I'm just letting it go, letting it come down. And I'm having to pull down a little bit, but as I'm pulling down, I'm rotating. Okay. Does that make sense? So let's do one shadow. So you'll start there, and you're gonna pull and rotate, okay? Pull and rotate.
Pull down and rotate.
Yes, I'll help you one more. So you're gonna go pull, rotate. And what we wanna do is make sure we make contact here and then continue, okay? The key that I want you to focus on is as we pull the racket down, the butt of the racket is facing up. Okay? Good. Very good. Okay. One more. Okay, good. Now, yes, the ball's going to in. The reason the ball's going in is when you make contact, you're making contact on the side of the ball. So we're making contact on this part. Okay. As we go down, we want to make contact at the top and then continue. Does that make sense? Okay. I'll show you again. So we're going contact, continue. So I'm really being slow, and that's why it's so important to be slow in the beginning. Because if you're really fast, it gets hard to get the timing. Slow, make contact on top. And the thing is, this is a skill that you're gonna have to train. And the reason we're breaking down these progressions like this is because this is something you can do on your own. You don't have to, you don't even have to have a court.
Okay.
You can do this at home in the backyard, as long as you have a surface that'll bounce back, you can sit there all day and work on this and do little drills at home before you even hit the court. Let's do about 5 more. Okay, really focus on and swing now. Yes, good. Good. So we've been working here. Now all I want you to do is start with the racket in this position.
It's up here.
It's up here. And the keys that I want you to focus on is now pulling with the edge of your racket. Okay?
Okay.
So slow down, be a little bit more deliberate. Okay, I'll let you do it. And I just want to get you to feel that pull. Okay? 3 more. Good. As we come down, we don't want to come closer to here. Yeah, here is perfect. Okay? Okay, good. And the difference is, remember how on your first serve,
Yes,
what did we see with the racket going up?
the face was totally open.
Totally open.
Yeah.
And so we've adjusted the grip a little bit. We haven't really worked on the pronation, but we're going to add that in a second.
Okay.
But this is what we want to see. Is it getting this ideal position where we're pulling the edge of the racket up.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So you have 3 different stages. 1, 2, 3. Go very slow and then relax.
That's so different.
So I'm going to help you through the first couple.
1.
1. I'm going to go pull up and then just turn. That's contact.
Okay.
And just hold it up.
Hold it up.
So I'm just adjusting it a little bit. So look at where we talked about the importance of where the racket face is facing now.
Mm-hmm.
Towards our target or some target. Before, your racket never got to the end position.
No, this is completely foreign to me.
It's going to, and that's the trick, it's going to feel very foreign.
Okay.
Because we went from you doing this
Yeah.
to now we're showing you how to do this.
Okay.
Same thing. Difference now is I'm going to have you hold the racket all the way down at the bottom.
Okay.
Good.
Gina, how similar do you think your shadow swing was from the one you just did with the dummy toss? Do you think it was the same?
I thought the shadow swing was better than
Oh, really?
the dummy
Okay.
toss.
How and why? How?
I felt like this was more on edge, and I did the tonation right, but with the other
You're
one.
right. This is always fascinating to me. So yeah, here's your shadow swing. Watch the angles with the racket. You actually invert it a little bit. On edge, on edge, on edge, on edge. Contact, release. And now here's the fake toss. Open. Open. Isn't that fascinating?
Oh, wow.
This is like endlessly fascinating to me. Like just the fact that the ball is in the air, like your neurons are firing for the serve, you know,
Right.
so you're going back into your old habit, even though you know you're not going to hit the ball. So yeah, let's do some more of these. And your goal is to make the shadow swing and the swing with the dummy toss exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah. Good job. Good job.
Good.
Good job. You're making darn sure
Yeah.
you do it correctly.
Over there.
Ball just
But your execution is great though, with the racket.
That was very mechanical.
Good job. I'll look real quick.
yeah.
There's a couple shadows, or actually a dummy toss to go. Really, really good execution on this one. Edge, 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 contact, release. And then this one really deliberate. This was the middle one. Really good execution there. And then this is the one that you just did. Opened a little earlier. I think
Yeah.
you knew the ball was in a compromising spot, and you lost the release as well.
Ball's thrown
So yeah, to the extent the ball distracts you is to the extent that you lean back
Use it.
towards your old habit.
Yeah.
And this is why I asked from the get-go, like, how are you willing to commit to a project here? Because you can see, like, your root habit is very, very strong.
Yeah.
And even though you understand on the screen, you can execute it now physically, but when the ball goes in the air, then the program runs, and it's very difficult to break this habit. And this is basically the process, is walking the tightrope line between no longer being able to execute correctly because you're getting pulled too hard back to your old habit, but also making some progress.
Can I do just some regular, like just try and do some serves with the pronation? Can I do it? Or
Sure.
Should I do it?
You can try.
Okay, I can try.
Yeah.
All right. Is that even pronation?
It was better. It was better. The first part of it. Come on over here. So you're holding a little bit of the edge. You're still opening up
Then I
earlier.
opened, yeah.
Yeah. And you did release, but really, really late.
Yeah.
You didn't turn your hand out until past. So you did both. We need to squeeze in the margins, as it were. We need to hold the edge longer and then release sooner. Things were complicated because you mishit the serve, and so your racket got twisted this way. That's probably why it looks like you waited so long to release it. So like you did this part,
Yeah.
but really late,
Yeah.
and you did this part, but you opened it
Not
very
enough,
early.
yeah.
Exactly, right.
Not
So
long
now it's a
enough.
matter of just kind of bringing it in,
Okay.
and that's where the magic of this happens, is when you hold this really, really long and you release it really, really quickly. That's when the juice really gets squeezed from.
But in the long run, this is a better service.
1,000%.
1,000%.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Right.
This is very much a long-term commitment.
Okay.
It's not like a weeks-long process, it's months. If you have a long-term mindset about it,
Yeah.
and you're willing to take one step each 3 months for the next couple of years, it'll add up and pay off in the
Okay.
long run.
Okay.